Okay, so day 27 of the lockdown. That's the Sunday. Hello. Alright. So I'm just going to try a longer run again on the weekend. See how it goes. There's a lot of rain on Friday night and Saturday, so went out for a 5k walk yesterday, and the local woods were not flooded but a lot of standing water, so ideally you needed off-road shoes. So I'm back in off-road shoes today, so I'm trying to pick a path where I'm more on trails than on paths and road, which is tricky coming out of some of these town and village areas. So I'm actually deliberately doing a diversion now so that I actually stick on the dirt that you can see is not as good as it was the other day. However, it's much better on your knees and your ankles because the ground's softer. So there's mixed blessings. I mean, a beautiful day, maybe a bit too hot. I should have set off early this morning. It's now gone 1 o'clock. But there were things to do, things to wait for. So I'll check in a bit later. So the plan is to go up to Ampfield Wood, go out through Ampfield Wood, join up with the Monarchs Way like I've done before, head across to Silkstead, just see how that is. If it gets too much of a quagmire, I might turn back and just double back and do an equivalent route, but coming back the same way as I went out. So we'll just see how tuned up it is. How many people? So that's the first pair. Those are the first people I've met, and I've run 2.5k so far. And that's the advantage of getting out onto these trails rather than sticking into the inner town and village areas, is you see a lot less people, and there's a lot more space of course to get around each other than if you've got roads and paths that are restricted. Okay. Oh, there's 2 people walking there, so there's a few more people about. Just cut in to the very earliest part of the Ampfield Wood I can, just off of the Potter's Heron, and this trail seems to be a lot better than it's been in many years. I think obviously somebody's made a big effort to clear it, and although it's soft, it's not muddy, which is quite good, so might bode well for later on in Ampfield. So I heard this morning, it was my cousin Jonah's birthday today, 19th of April, and unfortunately Brian, his wife, has tested positive for COVID-19 just over a week ago, I think. So she's been in isolation at home. Apparently there was a moment when she could have gone into hospital on Monday, but I think they're hoping she's recovering, although Jonas says although she's running temperature, recovery does seem very slow indeed. So best wishes out to Brian and Jonah and little Soshi, who's 4 years old. It must be incredibly difficult for them to try and self-isolate in a home when you've got a 4-year-old who obviously will want to have contact with her mum. So I hope that we're all okay and Brian will get better soon. Anyway, just coming into the chapel at Ampfield at the moment. So just coming down the hill along the Monarchs Way, coming out of Ampfield Wood, still in the wood obviously, but this is generally where it can get muddy. So obviously all the water drains down here, and there's a couple of streams that cross the Monarchs Way, and they tend to flood into the trail. So we'll see how that is as I drop down the dip here. But really pleasant day. It's particularly nice under the trees here. I think once I get into the open ground towards Hursley, probably feel a bit hotter then. I think it's only about 15, 16 degrees, but with the sun coming down it feels a lot hotter after you've been used to the cool of the spring. Anyway, here you can see it's starting to churn up. This is always the tricky bit. It's easy when it's dry because you just kind of wander through. But yeah, a bit of water sitting in there, but keeping going so far. I've just come past the old Forge pub in Otterbourne. Go through the car park and there's a footpath here that cuts across and diagonally down the fields, as you can see here, and then cuts down to the Test River. And then my plan at the moment is to cut back up at the Test River back into the woods at kind of Upper Otterbourne. I'm not sure exactly what that's called. Upper Otterbourne doesn't sound right, near where the Otter pub is, and then go into Albrook and then cross underneath the motorway in one of the little underpasses, and then I should be back home. So absolutely glorious day today. I think there's a similar shot of me coming back up this way about 2 weeks ago.